in the Philippines, depending on the culture within your own company, is it's so easy to build a really good culture structure with Filipino employees, mostly because our culture in itself is what we call bayanihan, or basically coming together as a group to build a goal. So as you're building your company, hiring from the Philippines just makes more sense because of the culture that we already have, where we take care of each other, we make sure that the other is doing okay, and we Hey there, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now, my goals at this video is to walk you through the reasons of why you should hire from the Philippines. Now, if this is your first time on my channel, my name is Lai Lacaba. I've been working from home since I was 15 years old and now run my own executive assistant outsourcing company here in the Philippines, and I post videos every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home and how to have a business from home. So make sure to hit the subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of my videos. Now, if you guys haven't guessed yet, I'm Filipino. I'm from the Philippines. I actually currently live in Cebu City, which is the second largest city, and I originally came from my hometown Tacloban. And for me, like I said, I've been working from home for about 11 years, and I wanted to make this video to kind of give you, if you're someone right now where you're thinking of hiring from the Philippines, whether it's your first virtual assistant or just a freelancer for one-off tasks, I'm basically going to give you the reasons of why you should hire from my country. First one is we just do have good infrastructure. What I mean by this is in the last 10 years, essentially, of people starting going to digital, especially in the last 2 years during the pandemic, more and more infrastructure has been set where people have easy access to electricity, good internet, like really good internet, even though we're a third world country, and of course being able to have access to equipment. In the last 2 years alone, there's been a rise of so many co-working spaces where your future virtual assistant can work from, or different coffee shops that have just 100 Mbps internet where they can work from. So infrastructure wise, in being able to have accessibility and being able to go from one place to the other in case that they need backup, the infrastructure here in the Philippines have improved so much. So you'll be able to find quality applicants, quality people easily because they have the equipment, the internet, the electricity, and the backup electricity and internet as needed. Yes, there are times where we'll have super typhoons, like we just had one in December, but even though that was already about a few months ago, the city has risen up so fast that a lot of people now are just back to normal. We still have missing trees and broken windows everywhere, but we're back to normal when it comes to getting work done. The other reason why you should hire from the Philippines is the economy is just so different that you can hire for a lower wage than you would if you hired someone locally. And I've said this before in different videos. This is not because Filipinos are less valuable. This is not because they're less skilled. It actually is because they're highly skilled enough that if they are being paid the same amount that you're paying someone in the same city, they would actually be already living a higher middle class life. And it's because of the differences between the economies. So what I mean by this is, for example, if you wanted to get your tooth cleaned in the US, it's about $200. Here in the Philippines, it's about $10. That is actually the vast difference between the two, is that the economies between two countries, between a first world country and here in the Philippines, is just so different of like how basically our minimum wage, the way of living here is just so much cheaper than if you were living in the US. And that's why you can hire for a lower rate in the Philippines, because already what is minimum wage in the US is actually more than enough for us. Next is just the culture. So in the Philippines, depending on the culture within your own company, is it's so easy to build a really good culture structure with Filipino employees, mostly because our culture in itself is what we call bayanihan, or basically coming together as a group to build a goal. So as you're building your company, hiring from the Philippines just makes more sense because of the culture that we already have, where we take care of each other, we make sure that the other is doing okay, and we check in on each other a lot, and we kind of treat our co-workers essentially as family or as tribe members already. So it's going to be easier for you to have that stronger culture connection when you're hiring from the Philippines, just because of our own natural culture already. Next reason to hire from the Philippines is we naturally just have really good English skills. A lot of Japanese and Koreans actually come here to the Philippines to learn English, and usually the biggest reason for this is because we were colonized by the US for about 30 years. English is our second language here most of the time, or even third. So we'll learn, our dialect, we'll learn Tagalog, and then we actually learn English. It actually is taught in our schools. So if you are hiring hiring someone for writing, for example, or as customer support, chances are that they will have really good English skills, just because again, it's part of what is taught in schools, part of our history and all of our culture. So it's really easy for you to find someone with really good English in our country. Next is most Filipinos are really well educated, especially if they get to the point where they are working online with you. Most of them will have bachelor's degrees, most of them will have master's degrees, mostly because we highly value education in this country, that you're going to be able to get really high quality people right off the bat. Another really good reason to hire from the Philippines is that we just have a really positive attitude. And this comes from being in a country that's Pacific Ring of Fire. Well, we do get typhoons, we do get volcanoes erupting every few months, but we still are resilient in showing up and making sure that we still have a positive mindset about how to look at things in life. Mostly because a little bit of our dark history and how we've come through it and how we keep surviving every single day, we do have this positive mindset of making sure that we always look at the brighter side of things instead of letting things be a little bit gloom and doom. So in your company, like I said, as you're building your culture, this is something that could really help you solidify that strong culture inside of your company. Now, speaking of resilience, the other really good reason to hire Filipinos is we're just really easily adaptable. Like I said, we're used to typhoons, we're used to things not going our way, and we still keep finding ways to get to where we want to go. So being adaptable is actually something that is, again, part of our culture of being able to find ways to get to our goal, to get to where we want to be, or to simply just survive. So inside of your business, inside of your company, hiring someone, of course, who can be adaptable, especially in the early stages of your business, can be highly valuable. Now, speaking of being adaptable, the next reason why you should hire Filipinos is that we're just also really resourceful. Like I said, despite all of the natural calamities that happen, also despite us being an island nation, that means that we don't have easy access right away to different parts of our own country. We've kind of just become resourceful in finding different ways. We've kind of just become our own Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts in finding different ways to get to where we want to go. So it's easy for us to think of solutions basically whenever we have problems. We're kind of trained up from being a kid to an adult to be resourceful, to find other ways through different things, just because we kind of have to just live this way. And of course, inside of your company, having someone who is resilient, adaptable, and resourceful is going to help you a lot. The biggest reason why you should hire from the Philippines is most of us have what we call the entrepreneur mindset. And it's actually because, again, of our history. We used to be traders with the Malays, with the Chinese, and then, of course, then those people kind of relocated here and lived here. And the entrepreneur mindset, or thinking in ways where you are growing yourself, growing someone else's business, or finding business opportunities, is something that's kind of just a natural thing, depending on also on the kind of people that they work with. This is not a guarantee of that all of the employees that you hire have that entrepreneur mindset, but it is one of the things that you'll find surprising of how many Filipinos have tried doing business before, have tried doing this or that, mostly because of influences of family or friends. Now, if you guys like this video, of course, make sure to hit the thumbs up button right there and comment below what other reasons can you think of why people should hire Filipinos, or why you should hire Filipinos. And if you still haven't yet, make sure to hit subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of my videos every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home and how to have a business from home, which you guys can check out the two playlists right here and the latest video right here. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and that small steps matters, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!